마운틴 듀 GSL 세팅입니다. 리체인지 미션.
Welcome back to the GSL Codas. We just wrapped up our first mirror matchup, at least guaranteed mirror matchup for the afternoon. Now we'll go to our second. It's soO versus Rogue. soO high on life after returning from Poland as the champion of the biggest rapid-paced StarCraft 2 tournament. He finally did it.
Indeed.
I honestly didn't know if it was ever going to happen, too. I really didn't. I mean, it was really cool to watch that unfold and to see him actually pull it off. But look, man, I mean, he's against one of the former world champions. ZVZ is so action-packed. My God, look how many silver medals he's got.
And we added the IEM trophy. I love it.
Yeah, I didn't know we were going to have the actual
like
little
crazy.
trophy. Yeah, big fan favorite here. The question is, can he continue his legacy onward? I think it is a safe bet to assume he's going to get out of this group, but I mean, this is about as hard of a group as you can ask for.
Yeah, I don't feel safe making the bet, but if you say so, I mean,
if you had to, you'd assume this guy would either get out first or second. Maybe this is where he's finally turned a new leaf permanently.
Could be.
He's broken past that membrane of getting second place over and over and over.
It is possible. And the guy he beat in the finals, no slouch in stats. Had a bit of a Silver Surfer himself.
Yeah. He's also, besides hearing all the people cheering in the audience, you can also hear the Korean commentators talking about him winning. This is
right now.
It's very cool. But look, I mean, you cannot ask for a harder Zerg opponent than Rogue.
Well, yeah,
at least in this tournament, you can't.
This guy is like a real champions champion, okay? He's a world champion, a Katowice champion. You know, he's won other premier events as well, like Super Tournament and IEM Shanghai.
Sure.
Like, this guy is just a killer. He was the best Zerg in the world for a long time until Cyril came along and ruined that. In fact, he's the guy who beat soO in the finals of BlizzCon, right? So
that's right.
Rogue is a complete monster, and out of all the Zergs in Korea, he definitely has the best late game ZVZ by leaps and bounds.
You're totally right. I think soO is very well-rounded and can kind of pull everything off, but Rogue's late game is completely insane, rivaled by only that of Cyril's.
Yeah, I forget who said it. We were talking about the ZVZ of soO on the Pylon show. Maybe it was Jon Snow that said soO, like, he'll have a lot of drones, but he'll be in a perpetual state of all-in. Like, he would just non-stop Roach Ravager the entire time. He doesn't want to play with Lurkers. He doesn't want to play with Broodlords. He doesn't want to play with Vipers. He wants the game to end, and that's where he is going to fight. Whereas Rogue, this is the guy who, the millisecond you're not looking, he throws down a Lurker Den.
Yes.
You know, he will absolutely love to play with Vipers and Broods. So it's a clash of styles, but still a close match, I think.
I agree. I think soO more likely to win in the early game. Rogue certainly more likely to win in the late game. We're going to start this off on a map we haven't actually been able to cast a lot of here in the round of 16. It's going to be New Repugnancy and then Year Zero.
Two of my favorite maps, but my most favorite map number 3.
That's right.
Fort Alexander. I'm going to let you guys wonder what you might need to get ready if we go to the third game.
Get your newspapers out, fold them into sailor hats if we go to map 3. Okay, New Repugnancy is loading up. This is Rogue versus soO, a best of 3. In the hopes that the winner, not in the hopes, if the guy that wins fights TY. I'm closing out. Start the game. Start the game. I can't.
Gotta get my alligator.
Can't do these outros here. Can't do all these outros right.
뉴 리파그넌시 게임 준비 완료.
Repugnancy.
15 soO.
Ooh, big cheers in the audience here.
진에어 그린윙스 로그.
Rogue. Okay, good. Rogue's getting some cheers here. I was really worried it was going to be a bunch of WWE boos in the audience.
No, you got to cheer for him. He's the last Korean world champion.
Of course.
Right? It's got to mean something.
No, Artosis, we're still all drunk off that soO win, okay?
Yeah.
We're riding that high.
Well, it would be pretty awesome if he had a sick year this year. And let's not forget, okay, I do want to point out, like, the match that he had in the round of 32, I was very excited for him already before the IM victory, which, of course, was hard for him to get, but he got it. Yeah, the champ is here, that's for sure.
Much more soO support.
He played Innovation, right, in the round of 32, and smashed him. He smashed him. It wasn't even really close. Like, he just looked much better. So I think that he's in the type of shape where...
Nice.
Did I say soO?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
we had a...
What an amazing sign.
Yes.
Let's get some even worse signs if we possibly can. Oh. I love
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Terrible ones.
Yeah.
I was just saying that soO, it's not just IEM. He looked amazing in the round of 32 as well. So look at that. It is very close overall. Legacy of the Void, 9-11. He'll skip the all, which increases it by 3. But that's close. It's very close indeed, and it's kind of what I would expect as well. You know, I do think that Rogue is a little bit better than soO overall. It's got that better late game, of course.
Now we've got Rogue banking Lings on the ramp. And we're going to see how many more he's going to make. He's getting Ling speed. We don't have any drones making so far. You want to keep them at the ramp because that's the best place to hide them. If anything does come up, you can then block it so they can't get any further. Maybe only with a portion of those Lings. And then when you're going to spill out onto the map, be super aggressive. Now, we've got a bit of a role reversal here. We were talking about how much soO wants to be incredibly aggressive, but it's actually soO entering a defensive posture with Rogue looping around this Overlord here.
Ooh, that's a pretty big deal. He's got a ton of Lings still being produced. That third hatchery's still in the way, so it's hard to tell that this is happening. Luckily for soO, he is getting most of a wall up here, but there's enough Lings coming that he can definitely break through these queens.
Oh, he needs to get his Evo Chamber up, please. Okay. He's going to go ahead and try to hit the queen, and keep in mind that Evo Chamber was slightly delayed, so it's not going to be able, I think, to finish just in time. Another Evo Chamber's going to go down over here.
Oh my God, he's got to get that other Evo Chamber down, and he doesn't do it. The Lings get in and surround the queens immediately here. The drones come out to fight. Lings being made on both sides.
Oh my God.
GG.
Rogue.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a couple things I got to note there, man. That Evo Chamber was not quite getting set up as fast as he needed it. I'm not saying he would have won that game, okay? But in a rush like that, fractions of a second can be stretched out into miles. I mean, he needed to get not just the first Evo Chamber up more quickly, but the backup Evo Chamber up in time to try to sandbag that rush. But the Ling Flood got in, and Rogue just stealing that win from soO in game 1.
He took what was his, Tasteless, is the way I like to put it. You know, when you have this kind of image as a better late game player and a macro player, it's great to mix something like that. And to open this series with that, I think that was amazingly done. But soO doesn't really seem phased. You know, stuff like that happens.
Well, I mean, yeah, any ZVZ expert's going to be able to brush that off. We're going to year 0 with Alpha Overlord, my boy Amon.
Alpha Overlord.
That's right.
He is the alphaist overlord. How much supply does he give supply or take supply?
That's a good question.
Damn.
I think he gives like 1,000 supply.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then if you try to max out with that, your computer crashes. All right, game 2 is ready. soO versus Rogue.
멀티뷰 GSL 시즌 리제너레이션 게임이 시작됩니다. 이어 제로 게임 준비 완료. 치보 소O 지네어 그린윙스 로그
So, year 0. It's a big map. It's a long map. Definitely going to take a bit of time to rush your opponent. So, both players going for that hatchery first play.
Our
It's like,
studio.
yes! Yes! Kiss!
It's like an Overlord wedding or something going on over there.
Such a beautiful map.
Yeah, I know. I loved it. I love the features that are added on this map just to kind of give it some more
like
character.
the red locust things.
Yeah.
And the little like whirlpool things going on. Oh, look at that. They're bonding by killing a bird.
Yeah, they're going to bite his arms off.
That's TY.
How's he going to have good tactics then with no arms, man?
It's going to be
He's going to
tough.
start playing with his feet. He's got to play on a DDR pad. Now, in this game, we're going to wait and see if anybody springs on having a lot of Zerglings made right away. I mean, to be honest, it wouldn't even be the craziest thing if Rogue did something similar again. You know,
Yeah.
that does happen sometimes in ZVZs.
It's just the rally distance is a bit longer, right? So it's a little bit harder to pull that off. And since he already did it and it's a big map already, I really wouldn't mind him just trying to get into his more standard and regular play. You know, trying to get into a later game. Let's not forget, though, Nidus is very strong right now, and this is a good map for it.
Good point, yeah. Yeah, I actually have my fingers crossed that we do have a long ZVZ here, because I really would like to see, with these two players especially, how they approach it.
Yeah.
And, you know, is it going to be them mirroring each other or going on very divergent paths? And so far, so good. I mean, we're seeing a lot of drones be made here.
Yeah, very, very different plays, though, overall. Rogue very quickly taking his third base. He's getting his Baneling Nest, whereas soO just banked gas, right? He didn't get Zergling speed or anything. He's going directly into a lair. Now, is this lair for a Spire, or is this lair for a Nidus?
We will see. Scouting Lings. Oh, my God. This Ling going to be able to get into the main now. This is actually never supposed to happen. This was a series of weird mini failures that allowed those Lings to get in. Also blocking that drone from making the Roach Warren for a second.
Yeah, I think it's not like the biggest deal in the whole world because he is on 2 base. You kind of expect a lair.
Sure,
He doesn't get to scout that there's anything else in particular. +1 on the way here for both sides. Obviously, we can see Roach speed a lot quicker for soO, but I feel like it's more likely to be a Nidus play. It's just, I guess if you know, like the 2 base speed Roach with +1 is definitely not a bad build overall, but I feel like this map is so long, can you really punish the 3 base slower speed version?
Well, we're going to find out.
Huh.
I think a Nidus would kind of pair well with this, but
Yeah.
let's go ahead and see. Right now, Rogue is still droning up, whereas soO is already beginning to produce it. Oh, actually, oh, nice block there. Whereas, sorry, soO is already going to produce quite a bit of roaches.
Yeah, well, he is on that 2 base, so he needs to do so. Let's have that speed on the way. Rogue is going to be later on that, but he has that extra hatchery that's up quite a bit earlier. He has a slightly better economy. These are important things.
Okay, so we have a third base being taken here. So a lot of the same, some of the same themes, but players getting there in different patterns, in different directions.
Well, I mean, I want to see what soO's actual overall plan is here, right? Because we just have slightly more production, slightly better economy for Rogue.
Yeah,
Whereas it's quicker Roach speed for soO. Those are the differences.
Yeah, but if you're not going to do anything with that Roach speed right away, I don't know how that's going to help you in a later game here. Yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, it just seems like what what Rogue has done is actually probably a little bit more efficient here. He's consistently staying ahead in workers, but perhaps now is going to be the time that soO tries to come out and hit hard with the roaches of his own. Army supply is virtually the same here.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and see.
Defender's advantage for Rogue, though.
All 3 of these hatches here for Rogue. Yeah, he'll be able to get roaches out and have them meet up with his army more quickly. And Queen's here as well to help defend.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like soO had a cool idea, but it's already been answered here by Rogue. At least so far. That doesn't mean that one player is going to lose, but I definitely just like this a little bit better for Rogue.
I don't really get what soO's strategy was. Like, this is
I wonder.
I don't want to oversay it, but like if it's a smaller map, I feel like you can definitely get way more done with something like that. Oh wow, that is a beautifully placed overlord. Do you see that?
Yeah.
He sees the timing of the hydro extend. That's actually so important. But yeah, it's just like if this was one of our swim, let's say it was like Cyber Forest, right? I feel like you can put a lot of pressure onto that third base. You can you can get up, you can start picking off some roaches and stuff. In this situation, though.
By the way, he managed to come in there, kill off a few drones, and then run back out. And this is right where it seems like Rogue actually wants to activate himself on the map. He's got some Ravagers here to try to get some zoning control. These Lings are going to come back in here once more. And if soO's really committed to this attack, losing these workers is really going to slow him down.
Okay, so right now, it's a very similar army supply, but a big drone lead here for Rogue.
Yeah, and that means the longer it takes for soO to do any damage, the worse it's going to get
What is this?
him.
What is this infestation pit for? We see the Lurker Den. We talked about this at the beginning of the match, how this is one of the favorite things of Rogue to do. Is as soon as he feels like he can, he gets into Lurker tech. But, okay, he's going directly into Hive. Like, I think this is going to be for Vipers, because Vipers can counter against like Lurkers and things very well, and obviously Blinding Cloud is amazing in these types of battles. So maybe that's what it, maybe he's like bypassing the heavy layer tech of Hydra Lurker and going directly into the Vipers, which endgame ZVZ on Hive tech becomes this hilarious thing where Vipers are abducting each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Blinding Cloud is so strong and Abduct is so strong.
So we see the fourth base is taken right now, mirroring each other as far as expansions go, although Tekken is pretty different here. We've got a little scout coming in here for soO. We're getting very close to actually maxing out, which means it's going to switch from an arms race into a positional play here. ZVZ, especially in unit compositions like we've got here, a lot of it is trying to have small little sections of your army branch off and run into the main or run into, let's say this center left or center right base, hit that, and then trying to hit somewhere else. So trying to get the initiative of that is really important. You really don't want to be on the defense too much once you start to get maxed out. You want to then really try to activate your presence on the map.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Vipers are the tech of choice here, of course, continuing his upgrades. He's been gooping the +2 attack of Rogue several times. So
good catch.
That's kind of nice as well. It's really slowed it down. Whereas we still have the heavy committal into this layer-based tech from Rogue. Like his army is way better in wins right now, but once we have a bunch of Vipers out, you can really dictate how things are going. You know, Blinding Cloud will help you in battles, and Abduct will too. So I kind of like this approach from soO. He gets to still play his very roach-heavy style, and he's, you know, in some ways is ahead in tech. He technically has a higher tier of tech, but like the overall technicality of the army of Rogue is much higher. It's a very interesting match that we're watching right now.
Another nice little attack here with these Lings. soO is now moving out on the map just before Rogue made that last unit to max himself out there. And we've got Vipers. Vampiring energy here off the hatchery. And let's see what soO can get done now. It's going to really depend on you know, how much, well, when and where, I guess. He's going to try to come down here. Now, Rogue is going to be very much so aware that this is coming at him. With Lurkers Broad here, it's going to be a little bit trickier to try to just break into any of these locations.
Yeah. Okay.
This is actually
killing the Overseers is actually gigantic if he can actually pick them off.
I'm actually surprised. Yeah, he put them locked into place there.
Yeah, I think well, the spores are actually guarding the Lurkers from being detected, to see over there. So I think he actually has to use it to see the Lurkers so that he can abduct them. But the positioning of Rogue, it seems to be a little bit too strong for him to attack in right now.
Yeah, I think you're right, Artosis. Rogue effectively turtled. soO may expand to the very bottom left as this is going on. By the way, soO has banked up an insane amount of minerals, 2.6K. Wow. Although Rogue is catching up pretty quickly on his own. Now, keep in mind, you know, with the larva that you bank up, you can make a lot of units right after you start to lose your supply. So it's not just the initial fight and how it goes, but what they begin to remax out on and how they behave with those units. We've got a Nidus at play here.
All right.
Kind of hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. Not battle-wise, but like there's a lot of map to look at, so it might be a little bit hard to see.
I think he's actually got two here. Oh my God, Rogue is so good.
Yeah, very, very nice move. You can't just run over and clear this because of the
And
lurkers.
here's the thing, this is more of a guerrilla tactic as well. He can get the hatchery and actually just run out.
Absolutely. And
He's
I think
doing it again.
Just all over the place, throwing down these Niduses. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier. It's a big, long map. Nidus is super strong here, and Rogue is the first one to use it.
And this is going to slow soO down pretty heavily economically. And here comes another attack. Now, he can actually get these lurkers on the ramp. You will not get up that ramp. This means the Hive and the Pool are going to go down.
Yeah, Rogue just smashing right now.
And it seems like Rogue was, even though soO was trying to come in there and do some sort of damage some way, somehow, it was actually Rogue that was the first to really start to be active and actually attack in here.
Look at those roaches getting
completely
shredded.
Did soO just die? This is so much damage. I don't think you can recover from this.
No, there's complete control right now from Rogue. Just complete control. Look at this, he's popping out roaches. Those just don't last. That's it.
Damn, GG.
Well,
we're just moving right through these games here today.
The TY versus Rogue should be pretty good then, huh?
I think
the
so.
way they manhandled these other top-end players.
Well, Rogue Zerg handled him that time.
Yeah.
Mitosis. I still have high hopes for soO getting out of this group, but I will tell you, man, Rogue with that quick Ling cheese and then really brilliant strategic play there at the end. I mean, just popping out with Nidus worms everywhere. And soO was unable to respond in time. soO with a more orthodox approach to ZVZ was going to try to come out on the map, hit different locations, but there were too many lurkers.
Yeah.
And once soO had to back off, that's when the Nidus counterplay came in. And suddenly soO was not able to keep any of his additional bases alive. We are going to a break. When we come back, the winner's match, TY versus Rogue, to decide the third player to move on to the round of 8 in the GSL Code S.